Hi, I'm Allison.
I am also Allison.
It's weird. To be specific, I'm Allison Shoemaker. I cover Crazy Ex-Girlfriend for the AV Club. I also write a bunch of other places.
And I'm Allison Hendricks. I am the artistic director of Cook Candy Productions, a musical theater company in Chicago.
And we are going to talk about the music of the first season of Crazy Ex-Girlfriend, which wrapped up tonight. This is being recorded on Saturday, but we are time travelers. So it wrapped up tonight. And we're going to talk about some of our favorite songs from the season. It's roughly 15-ish songs. If we have time at the end, we might talk about some songs that didn't make that list or that we didn't like quite so much. Mostly, though, it's songs that we really liked that didn't make our top 15 because there are too many good songs in Crazy Ex-Girlfriend.
So many good songs.
It's just really...
They're perfection. Yeah,
they're really great. So, because, here's the thing. Having a few people over is perfect, exactly as it is, but it's not in our top 15 songs because it's just a guy saying having a few people over and over and over again. But I wouldn't change a thing, but it can't be in the top 15 songs. You know what I mean? Do you know what I mean?
I know what you mean.
Yeah, all right.
If you don't remember that thing, you should go back and watch that episode where Daryl's getting ready to have a
fromage.
Fromage.
It's so good. But we're going to start with the end of our 15 and move up towards the top. So at the end of that list, we scrolled down to Angry Mad. Oops.
We love Angry Mad, but that'll come later.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the first song on our list, number 15-ish, is West Covina, the great big opening number, which is pretty much perfect. So that should say something about how good this list of top 15 is.
The thing that I love the most about West Covina is when I watched that first episode, I actually, sorry everybody, had no idea what I was watching. And so when she turns that corner and she bursts into the first line of West Covina, I lost my shit. Am I allowed to swear?
Yes.
I'm allowed to swear. I lost my shit when she started that song because I actually didn't know that it was a musical theater show. So it's perfection. You have this woman in crisis, and the thing that she does is walk out and turn a corner and start singing. It's everything I love about musical theater. When your emotions are so heightened, there's nothing else you can do. There's no one to speak your truth to. You just have to sing it to the world.
It's really terrific, I think. And I think it's a great opener for the show in terms of what it tells us about Rebecca and her experience. It basically sets up the entire premise and that it's a lie, that she's lying, because also by coincidence, so random, just by chance. Who'd have thunk it so remarkable? It's weird, right? It's so great that this guy Josh just happens to be here. But it also, I think, is really affectionate about West Covina in a way that's really funny, but also not condescending. Like the sparkle off the concrete ground and the thing about the pretzels and the anime wigs. It's stuff that's relatively ordinary, but the love that she has for it is not ironic. Like, she is really that excited about those things, which I think is just really charming. And then Rachel Bloom just sings the hell out of it.
She sings the hell out of it. And it's just, if you're going to do an opening number, you better do an opening number. And it's perfection. She floats away on the giant pretzel, which is essentially the flying moon. It's very, I don't want to show off no more. Like, it's just this perfect ending to a giant musical theater number. Which, as we see throughout the series, not every number is a musical theater production number. But it's a great way to just start right out the gate with the sense of we're living in this fantasy world, which is something you'll hear us talk about a lot.
Yeah. I also it's a minor thing, but she physically strips off what we could have basically called her Audrey Levine costume when we meet Audrey Levine later, and throws the jacket at the random guy who's walking by who's just like, what? And then he just goes on his way, it's just a moment I love. It's also got great choreography, which is something that'll come up a little bit throughout. Kathryn Graham, I think her name is. I would have to check if I'm wrong. I'm very sorry, Miss or Mrs. Graham, and I will correct in the notes below. But it's just, the choreography is really funny. It's so cheesy. There's all of that, this stuff and the little clappy.
Like, every trope you can think of has been thrown in, which is why we just love it as an opening number.
Perfect.
It's like, let's use every trope.
Yeah. So that, for number 15, we're taking a lot of time, but it's a really important song. The rest of these are sort of in no particular order.
The middle ground of things we really love, and it's very difficult for us to exactly number them.
Yeah.
So the next one we're going to talk about, I'm going to bring up because I really love it, which is a boy band made up of 4 Joshes. Things that I love about it, we get to see Vincent. So I'm going to use all of their first names because you're all my friends. Right? We're friends now.
We're totally friends.
I have friends. I definitely have friends. we see Vincent being a genius. We see his mad dance skills, and also just musically, I think it's perfection. It is the perfect boy band song, and he actually uses these 4 totally different voices, which is that thing from the time of, well, every boy band, but in my mind, it's very Boys to Men through NSYNC. There's like each voice part, and he manages to sing each of them in very different ways, which is it's just so cool to see one person singing with themselves, but with these very stereotypical boy band parts. Here's my bass part. Here's the kind of speaky part. I love the high tenor the most.
Yeah. What I love about it is that it's this wonderful combination of the young Rebecca fantasy that we see. I think the band is called Room Temperature, because she makes a temperature joke at some point. I think the name of her boy band she loves as a kid is Room Temperature. And then it combines this childhood fantasy where she's obviously sort of stuck, and obviously Josh represents that, with her now ideal man, which is 4 men who are all experts in psychiatry.
Right, we see her whole
and
history
sleep
of therapy.
disorders.
She has obviously had a lot of therapy.
Well, I'll show you through those developmental stages you've been stuck in for ages.
So we're using this like childhood, which will come back in another song.
It's really good.
This sort of juvenile musical fantasy with this adult knowledge of why that fantasy is not healthy, and yet indulging in the fantasy while understanding what someone has told you that probably it's not healthy.
And that joke, we're not just a boy band making up before Josh's, we're also a team of licensed blah, 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 blah.
And it just keeps going.
Personality and sleep disorders is so good.
It's so good.
It's just so good.
If you haven't watched that one lately, just
revisit it. It gets better with age. Above that is I Could If I Wanted To.
Whoop-de-frickin'-do.
Which is just such a great, first of all, very impressive one take, just him walking from a directorial standpoint.
The cameraman apparently walking backwards to just do that whole thing.
And like the perfection of that joke when he picks up the bananas and he rips them apart and just drops them. It's just so funny. But I think it's also musically really great. Like, a point Allison made, was that musically it could be better. It could, because Santino Fontana is a terrific singer. And that's not what that song requires, and it doesn't matter. I just think like
you write a song for someone who could sing anything. My friend Santino, my other friend, someone who could sing anything, and you could do so much vocally. And the point of the song is that that we don't do things. He doesn't do things. Could if we wanted to, whatever. So to write a song that doesn't really ever open up to all of the things he could do vocally, I just think it's so smart. It's really smart musically. Also, it really reminds me of that Eve Six song. I want to spin it hard in a blender. Inside Out. That's the one. That's what I think of.
For me, it's Loser by Beck and a little bit of Weezer's The Sweater Song. But it's just, the lyric that sort of sums that up for me, that idea, is this song sucks! I could make it good if I wanted to! And it's just the perfect way to end that. So it's great. And it's a great character moment for Greg. Like, it's a reminder of this person that you love or you hate, but you most likely do both. I mean, that's how I feel.
You love and get confused by and hate a little.
He has some questionable choices, a lot like our hero. We'll get back to that.
The thing we love the most about the show is that people are complicated.
Next is our very favorite...
Our favorite pop send-up, I think.
No, it's
not our favorite. Oh, I can't decide.
But
anyway,
it's really good.
We love 1, 2, 3, go. Heavy boobs.
Heavy boobs. Dense like dying stars. I got them. Heavy boobs.
My favorite lyric is dense like a white dwarf.
It'd be a catch at Fisherman's Wharf.
So we think there's sort of 2 categories-ish. There's more, but within the world of Crazy Ex-Girlfriend, that we feel like there's sort of the music theater songs and then like the pop send-ups. Well, they're all send-ups. The music theater send-ups, the pop send-ups.
Right.
And in the world of pop send-ups, this one just stands alone so strongly. I can just watch it. It's hilarious for 1,200 reasons, and I just want to listen to it. And I also kind of want to like rock, like I want to put it on my headphones as I walk down the street and just be like,
Yeah.
Where no one knows what I'm doing, and I try not to say it out loud because it would get a little awkward.
I would sing this song. I would sing the shit out of that song at karaoke. I would just destroy it.
And it would.
I would probably bring a stapler and 10 pencils and a hardback
try
copy
to just
of
cut all the things.
Wuthering
Arabian
Heights.
Nights.
Arabian Nights.
Arabian
and,
Nights.
Softback copy of Wuthering Heights.
Hardback?
I don't remember which one is which.
Paperback?
Anyway, there's one of each. And bring 2 memoirs for each of my boobs. I asked people, AV Club commenters, if you're watching, thank you, and some friends on Facebook and Twitter, what songs really stuck with them. And a lot of people, women, mentioned Heavy Boobs as being the most real.
It's just a really real thing. And
super duper
real. Extra mad props. That's my crazy street slang. I don't know. To the women who did that video who were so very willing, because that had to be painful.
Yeah.
That is not comfortable.
Again, cheers, Kathryn, Graham, whatever your name is.
Cheers to the choreo and the costuming for that, and the women who were very willing to go for that.
Yeah.
I hope you only had to do that dance like once or twice and not 10 times.
They're just sacks of yellow fat.
Uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And brilliant.
Great. Next is another music theater send-up, which is Dream Ghost.
Dream Ghost. I mean, Ricky Lake is in it.
I'm now thinking, like, how is it possible that we're not talking about this one later? Because I think it's so good. Because when you add in, we wish our union health plan had dental, and you get to all, it's just so good.
It's so good.
Also, the lyric, where it gets to the your subconscious appears in the form of a dream ghost is just so good. It's really good.
If you haven't listened to the song Dreamgirls, if you're just like a fan of Crazy Ex-Girlfriend and not a weird music theater person, good for you. And also, just listen to the song Dreamgirls from the musical Dreamgirls. It's this perfect adaptation almost of it. It's just it's this the parody of it is musically perfect.
Yeah.
And our favorite line is the speaking for both of us. I'm going to read it so I don't mess it up. It's not clear if I'm hallucinating. She sings. It's not clear if I'm hallucinated or actually magic. Let's leave it vague. It's more interesting that way.
Which is a great little, like, wink to the audience about the way that you should watch the show. Which I personally, as a reviewer, was like, thank you. Now I can stop wondering about that. That's great. Let's leave it vague. It's more interesting that way.
Yeah, which is sort of this question of, are these things real? Are we in a musical? Is it actually all fantasy? Which I think maybe we're coming back to later.
But the answer is mostly that it doesn't matter, which I really love.
Yeah.
All right, next is Getting By, which is so good.
Who doesn't love Daryl, first of all?
Daryl's the best.
Please, I hope you're all watching. And
Pete
really
Gardner, breakout role for a character actor. Just really, it's just really a tremendous performance of an incredibly lovable character.
And a character with a really great arc, which comes out a lot.
The only ship I actually ship in Crazy Ex-Girlfriend is White Josh and Daryl. I'm on board with Team White Josh and Daryl. But the way that they address bisexuality, I think, is actually really unique on television and in pop culture in general, where it's not like specifically targets all those stereotypes about
you're just confused. You're actually gay.
I'm not just a slut, and I'm not confused, and I'm not secretly actually gay. I like ladies and I like guys.
And it's so straightforward.
The lyric is, now some may say, you're just gay. Why don't you just go gay all the way? But that's not it, because bi's legit. If you're a he or a she, we might be a perfect fit, which is so good. And the Huey Lewis vibe, and the white suits, and the sax solo.
Like, Daryl kind of lands into, like, very 80s, also with Text Emergency.
Yeah.
In a slightly different vibe, but the Huey Lewis and the sax are really
it's really, really good.
But just this sense of he takes such joy in this discovery and in, like, figuring something out about himself. And the way he communicates it while embracing, like, because he's Daryl, it's an awkward moment. He's in the conference room. He called a meeting. So it's very true to the character and reveals this thing that I can't make a sentence. I can't make a sentence.
I think that it's a song actually kind of like Heavy Boobs and like the Sexy Getting Ready song, which we'll get to later, which feels culturally significant in a way that's removed from the show. That it's all by itself, the fact that it was on television at all feels important to me.
And it's also important to the story.
Yeah.
So it
and it's also just really fun. I listened to it like 4 times today as we were getting ready for this. It's really, really fun and catchy. So the next one was a song that was on tonight. So we're not sure what the actual title is because, again, recording beforehand. But we're calling it Paula's Turn, and I would be willing to bet money that it's actually called Paula's Turn. Is that 15 minutes? Oh no!
We were going to limit ourselves to 15 minutes.
We have a lot to say.
We just passed it.
That's fine. So Paula's Turn, again, music theater send-up. If you have never seen Gypsy, which is one of those musicals that I think people that don't even like musicals could really enjoy, it's a really great send-up, but also very honest interpretation of Rose's Turn, which is a giant...
it's the very
like 11 o'clock number.
But it's an 11 o'clock number rather than being like a giant pop ballad that's victorious. It's the 11 o'clock, losing your goddamn mind, falling apart, the whole world is exploding, and it's desperate, and it's fighting to hang on to a thing that you believed in. So Paula, there's this, the entire season, which we'll talk about her first moment, but her whole season has been... this love story of Rebecca and Josh. Rachel. I always say the wrong thing. Rebecca and Josh.
It's Rebecca, yeah.
Rachel and Josh. And so there's this moment where that's been taken away from her, and so the desperation to hang on to it is what makes it so dynamic. And that desperation, it was, I can't, like, I wish I had been in that room. You're like, you know what her song would be? It would be Rose's Turn, because it's I just keep saying things are perfection, but
it's wonderful.
That's what that moment is. There's this desperation to hang on to this thing that this person and this situation that you've developed, and that's what Rose does in Gypsy, and that's what Paula has done through this season. So it was a great choice just to say this is the song we're going to parody. And then musically, it sounds like that, but doesn't. But it's just exceptional musically.
That's part of what makes it, I think, a really great parody that's more than a parody, is that it's an excellent send-up of a recognizable song, down to the letters, down to the giant Paula letters, but is also just a really good song on its own. Like, for those of you who are watching who are not music theater fans or who don't know Gypsy, I'm sure you didn't need to know that reference in order to find it both funny and interesting and an honest character moment.
And Donna Lynn
just
sells
wails
the crap out of it.
She's great.
I mean, she gets such a moment, and that's what that song is in Gypsy, and that's what the song is for Crazy Ex-Girlfriend. It's just Paula having her moment.
It's just really great. So next after that is I'm a Good Person, which also has a reprise I forgot about, which is just Mrs. Hernandez all by herself telling Paula she's a good person wordlessly, and it's at the bottom of the screen. It's really fun.
So we don't get to talk about Mrs. Hernandez too much for this moment
because she's the communications director who doesn't speak. So good.
So we just want to make sure we call out her
Mrs.
excellent
Hernandez.
reprise.
We're really big fans of Mrs. Hernandez.
Big fans.
But I'm a Good Person is such a great moment in figuring out like exactly how deep Rebecca's insecurities run, and that it's basically everything about herself. It doesn't matter. All of her actions, all of her choices, she immediately questions and then gets freaked out anytime it seems like there's a whiff of failure around her. It's also, again, a really good song.
It's also really good. It's just catchy. If you haven't watched the explicit version, you can watch it on the Rachel Does Stuff YouTube.
Yeah, on Rachel's YouTube.
And something else I love about it is how it functions for her relationship with Greg. That specifically in this world where she's trying to defend every bad choice she's ever made, basically, it's to him. He's the one that she feels she has to defend to. So we see throughout the whole season obviously it's a very complicated relationship with Greg, but it's very interesting to me in the moment that she wants to not be judged. He's the one she's most worried about. Like, if she could sing I'm a Good Person anyway. She could have gone to Paula and sung I'm a Good Person. But Greg is the one who sort of sees through a lot of her stuff. And so he's the one, like, she knows that about him. And he's the one that she feels she has to defend herself to, which I just think is a really interesting choice versus any of the other people.
The explicit version also contains the lyric "newsflash fuckwads, I'm a good person," and every time I hear it, I just laugh.
It's funny.
It's really great. I also saw Rachel tweeted at some point when she was live tweeting that episode, I think, that the girls who played the Girl Scouts in that episode suggested that it would be funnier if the person she threatened to kill was not the woman's husband, but one of them. And they had to be like, no, that's too much, too dark even for us. But those little Girl Scouts were like, no, me, knife to my neck, do me.
So that was some good
so much.
casting. I don't know, and I apologize, who the casting director is for this show. But that person deserves much, much praise, down to the Girl Scouts.
Cheers. We're going to
Pause.
awkwardly pause for a second. I have friends. I definitely have friends. Singing this the whole time. This is just, we're still singing the same song. We didn't briefly take a break.
Wait, we do this chord part.
Pizza thrown at us. Pizza thrown. All right, great.
Okay.
And we're rolling.
Great. So, we're back. We took a quick I Have Friends break, and then we went and cried in the bathroom, and then we took a pill off the bathroom floor, and then we tried to sneak into our psychiatrist's doggy door, and now we're back. So next on our list that's in no particular order is Where's the Bathroom, which is just fucking perfect.
I actually can't think of anything to say about this song that is not that it's perfect.
Tova. Oh, she's so good.
From where do we even start? The klezmer is perfect. And we've been talking recently about, in hindsight, now you will have also seen the finale.
And the Dream Ghost episode.
So sort of in hindsight, looking at Rebecca's mom and what we know now about her, and just sort of like Rebecca's dad and that episode where her mom is like not just the bad guy. It's also very fun to go back and see her early on.
Mm-hmm.
That I just have like so much more empathy, which was the point, absolutely, that we discover this along with Rebecca, or we know more, whatever, I can't remember. Anyway, so it's fun to go back and watch her mom sing the song also, and not just think, oh God, her mom, crazy Jewish mom, but to sort of see it in context of there is so much love, and she just always did the best she could, and the best she could is a little invasive.
It's like when she says that, when the whole thing with the vase vendetta, I'd still love you if you were gay, and you can just see on her face that she really means it, but she's just terrified and she just wants to know if she's gay.
And she just wants to know, but she would also
Please
absolutely
just tell me
still
if
love
you're
her. Like,
gay.
she's not a horrible person.
Why haven't you
She's
just found a nice lesbian to settle down with? That would be the next step.
Right, that would be the thing. She would just instantly switch to that. And musically, the klezmer is perfect, and I need a thesaurus, so I stopped saying perfect. I think the show is perfect.
It's pretty great.
The patter of it, I mean, she just never stops. My personal favorite is ... charming.
Yeah, ... charming.
Yeah.
It's great.
I don't know.
I am very partial to when she leaves to use the bathroom upstairs, and then
you sort of think
and then
maybe the song's
Rebecca
over.
is just laying there, and then you hear something that sounds a lot like the Jaws theme in the background, and then she reappears. You call key change that a bathroom. This is for a bathroom. There were no bowls of rocks or any decorative soap, something like that. It's so funny.
And then the traveling upstairs together.
I need to use the bathroom
completely
again.
Relentless.
And again, someone who sings the hell out of the song. It's just really great.
And it's just written well, and it's
and the composers, all the people who write for the show, primarily 3 people, but there are more. And whoever directed that episode, I'm sorry, I don't have your name in front of me. The fact that she opens the door and the song immediately
that's
begins.
Our favorite thing. There is no intro. It's just, here is mom. She's a whirlwind. We go into relentless.
It's immediately overwhelming.
And that sense of, like, that is Rebecca's relationship with her mom. It is always overwhelming.
Yeah.
So, sort of musically and energetically, having her burst in and just jump right into it exactly encapsulates that relationship.
And if you've never seen Tova in anything else, she's treasure. I mean, she's
our
great
buddy
in everything.
Tova.
Our friend Tova. She's really good. All right, next is our favorite pop parody, which I can't believe is actually not higher, but there are so many good songs, is the Sexy Getting Ready song, which I just have to say, as a woman with a body, it really meant a lot to me to see a person being yanked up and down like a yo-yo to get into her Spanx on television.
It's great. Well, the thing about the show, that one of the things we love, is ultimately it's great. It's a music theater show. It's hilarious. And it is feminist. It is absolutely feminist. And there's the thing, which, we didn't really talk about the theme song at the top. I'm going to sneak it in right now.
Go ahead.
The thing, you hear the title, Crazy Ex-Girlfriend, you're like, oh, is this, I'm not going to like this because it is going to be awful. It was probably written by a man, and it's about crazy ex-girlfriends, and I'm going to hate it. And then it turns out it's everything that's different from that. And the theme song very perfectly just spells it out for you. It's a lot more nuanced than that.
Yeah.
And that's not the point. Brief call out to the theme song.
It's
anyway,
great.
So back to Sexy Getting Ready song. My favorite part of the Sexy Getting Ready song is the spoken part in the middle.
Gotta apologize to some bitches.
I gotta apologize to some bitches. I'm forever changed. Maybe there's just like one man who watched this and feels forever changed by the Sexy Getting Ready song. Maybe. But really, I have this and long-standing love for the CW network, for better or worse. And I am surprised a little at some of the stuff that they've allowed the show to do.
Ass blood
is on the CW. And what did I say before? Mad props to the CW. It is so real. I mean, I don't know about ass blood, but all of it is just really real. That is what it's like.
But they didn't just say ass blood. You see the ass blood hit the bathtub.
How many times can we say ass blood?
Ass blood.
And my other favorite moment, I think, because what I love is seeing the relationship of the men to the women. So the other moment is let's see how guys get ready, and we just see Greg asleep on the couch. And that is very real, and it's so funny, and it's a catchy tune, and also that's real. And it's not fair, and it's kind of awful. But those are the things we go through. Tonight, we're like, oh God, we should put on eyeliner because people are gonna watch this, and we have
eyeliner on.
We're sitting on a couch talking to you.
After this, we're gonna be watching Outlander and drinking more Prosecco.
But we felt like, oh God, people are gonna see it.
I will absolutely be taking my bra off, and I will probably put on leggings.
I believe in leggings as pants, so they're always on. But it's just, as you said, being able to watch that. Being able to watch that happen on TV was just we don't talk about it. I mean, people are talking about it more. It's more prevalent on the internet, but not on network TV.
It got think pieces. It got so many think pieces. Very important.
Thank you, Crazy Ex-Girlfriend.
Think pieces.
We're gonna move on because we're gonna run out of time. The next thing. One of our went too far. Our favorite.
I have friends. I definitely have friends. That's one of those songs that's actually not that good a song, and it doesn't matter because that's not the point. The background with the amusement park rides and the day glow and the grocery clerk with half an eyelid, and then the importance in that song overall when it comes back again and again and again as a refrain in the music direction.
What we've noticed, there's so much really fantastic underscoring throughout the season, so you can really pay attention every time I Have Friends comes back in. It actually, if you notice it, it's very poignant.
Yeah.
That feels
it's usually when she doesn't have friends. And occasionally it's when she does.
And if we look at the sort of juxtaposition of young Rebecca singing it, and that the song is, and I don't mean this in a bad way, but the song is fairly juvenile. And I feel like that's intentional because we see so many styles and so much sophistication throughout the show.
We watched the intro to Kids Incorporated and compared that, and it's pretty accurate.
It's close. It's maybe a combo of early
K-I-D-S. Yeah.
Yeah. So it feels like that. And then, but we see that style of song sticks with Rebecca because she is in the same place.
Yeah.
And then that compared to the later episode when she is going to move back to New York and realizes she actually does have friends.
Gets you.
It's really lovely. And I think we look at the season as an arc, that is a huge change. Maybe the biggest change. I don't know if that's right.
Thank you, Dr. Dream Ghost Acopian.
Thank you, Dr.
Great.
Dream Ghost.
So
great.
next is Feeling Kind of Naughty, which is it has my favorite lyric that's not like my pussy, you two have wonderful taste, which is in a song that's not on this half
Not
of
on
the
our
list.
list, but one of the best lyrics.
But it has my other favorite lyric, which is I want to kill you and wear your skin like a dress, but then also have you see me in the dress and be like, OMG, you look so cute in my skin.
Feeling kind of naughty.
It's so funny.
It's so weird. But funny weird. I mean, it's
She's
weird
got
in a good
that
way.
taxidermied cat in her
And what
lap.
I love, one of the things I love is the using the tropes of male fantasy. So we see there's the boudoir, there's the pillow fight, ladies. Oh, and then
girl on girl
the
shit.
girl on girl, like at the sleepover they might make out, and the fact that in like reality they're in a club and it's two girls dancing. So it's just like so many male fantasies happening at once, and but the lyrics it gets weird. It just gets weird, and it's very funny.
Break into your mom's house, collect your baby teeth, and turn them into my new retainer.
And there's the creepy stare. Maybe our favorite moment is during that skin line
When she's in the
club and she just stares at Valencia, and it's actually like voiceover.
We're talking too much. We're
moving on.
So we're almost done.
This is our like top 3. We have a tie, so it's really like 4 songs.
Yeah.
But these are solidly our
So,
top.
Settle For Me, you probably have noticed that we have not gotten to Settle For Me yet because it's so wonderful. Settle For Me, which I'm not even sure we have to say that much about. Settle For Me is just great. Settle For Me is one of those episodes that I hope that people who weren't watching the show before then started watching. Just like turn it on randomly and they saw Santino Fontana and Rachel Bloom tap dancing and let's pretend I didn't say that and all that wonderful, messed up, great stuff.
You take this classic music theater, classic movie musical thing and make it so uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And
charming as hell.
And the quick side note is we really love a good reprise. And it's the cornerstone of musical theater is the ability to just nail a reprise and make it so much more effective. So Settle For Me has 2 great reprises. We won't dig into a lot. But there's the porta potty reprise.
Which is so, as soon as I'm done peeing, it's time to start being. It's great.
Right before making
And then Don't Settle For Me. I am Team Heather. More songs for Heather in season 2.
Season 2, Heather better have some songs.
I want more Heather.
But what's so great is how effectively she is used when she does sing. She sings that tiny little line in California Christmas Time.
But then she has her little...
She has Don't Settle For Me, which just couldn't be better. So, Settle For Me
great.
and its 2 reprises.
And Don't Settle For Me is great. So our ties, our 2 songs that link 2 characters that the finale seems to make pretty clear are the most conflicted, probably sort of parallel characters, whether you think they belong together or not, which is You Stupid Bitch and What'll It Be, which I think are 2 songs that you can't divorce from the show and have them mean the same thing, but they rise above parody. They're both still parodies. One is obviously Piano Man. The other is like every Torch song you've ever heard. So, the ending of Funny Girl, it's Judy, it's Barbara, it's Liza.
Right.
It's
so it's not like
good.
letting go of the idea of parody, but it absolutely transcends that sense of we're just making fun of a thing. So one thing that we've talked about that we love is this parallel of Greg and Rebecca that is sort of Greg is very stuck in West Covina and thinks like maybe all his problems would be solved if he got out, but he can't get out, and that Rebecca thinks West Covina will solve all of her problems.
Here comes my cat. Sorry.
Her name is Nancy.
This is Nancy Drew. Bye, Nancy.
Pass it along. So that we sort of the parallel of the 2 characters is sort of looking. We said it in a really smart way the other day.
It's basically, the songs serve similar functions, which is that they've suffered a loss of some kind. In Greg's case, it's that he thought he could finally escape, and then he couldn't. Nancy, cut it out. Attacking the cameraman? What kind of fucking cat is that? In Rebecca's case, Rebecca, you've done it now. You know, you ruined everything, you stupid bitch. So, they're both just like wonderful moments of acting and songwriting and direction. There are two moments that gave me chills. So did the top of our list, which we'll get to in a second.
But they both, I feel like in both, You Stupid Bitch a little more than What'll It Be, but they both have this moment of self-awareness. Yeah. Many people we've talked to really relate to Stupid Bitch and the self-loathing in it.
Not to like overshare, but You Stupid Bitch is the closest that I've ever felt like I saw something about myself on TV that you don't normally see. You know, and I don't think I'm a stupid bitch, except for when I do,
except for when I do the things where I'm just like, you stupid bitch, and you can have all the therapy you want and all the self-talk you want that
I'm
you
out
can,
of Prosecco.
that you can rise above it, but there are moments where you're just like, I am a stupid bitch,
and it's funny.
Which,
like,
I feel like
Poopy Little Slut is inherently funny, but that song is actually not all that funny.
It's horrifying.
It's just...
And what I love is when there's discovery in the song. So some of the songs, particularly maybe the pop send-ups, we sort of have a discovery and then we sing a song about it. I feel like You Stupid Bitch, she is having the discovery, but she learns a lot through the song.
Yeah.
As she's singing it, I feel like it becomes more clear. Maybe it's not exactly discovery. I guess that it happens the moment before, but it is just this, like, as I go on, it increases my awareness of this thing.
Sing-along. It's when we get to the sing-along.
Because the idea that, wait, we're checking on how much time? What was that?
15.
Great. So we're almost done. The
we
sing-along
have
part,
time. We definitely have
time. What I like is the sing-along, because this is a place she has been over and over. So the idea of the sing-along, and even when she starts the song, that the audience know, we love the audience, like, reaction. We love this. This is the one we always want to hear Barbara sing, whatever, is because as an audience, we have seen Rebecca make these bad choices over and over. So that context, making it this torch song where the audience knows it and will eventually sing along, just enhances that sense of we've been here over and over.
And I think that Rachel Bloom is just a really terrific performer, a comedic performer, but she's also done some remarkable dramatic work on the show, and I think it's gotten better over the season, but that's her best moment in the whole series to date, no question. And it just... That moment when she deceives the people she loves at the very end, it's just like... uncomfortable, frankly. Yeah. It's so personal and so affecting.
She plays into every trope we're looking at and keeps it completely, heartbreakingly, uncomfortably honest, which is the only thing you could ever want from a musical number.
And What'll It Be is a lot neater than that. It's a lot tidier because it's a song about resigning yourself, not about punishing yourself, but it's... also very affecting in a similar way.
The world of everyone's living in the fantasy, and that is obviously Greg's fantasy world.
I think I would have to go...
He makes his own drums.
He makes his own drums. I would have to go back and check too, but I think that's the first song that we see in the series that exists completely divorced from Rebecca. No one else, like, she's not there to fantasize it or to sing it. She's not even in the bar. So I'm pretty sure that that's true. That it's the first one that she's not around for, and that makes sense to me.
Yeah,
it feels like an elevated moment like that.
And it is
That's also one of the best episodes of the season. So,
okay, we're gonna move on because we have like
last
1 minute.
One.
Our number one for
I need that guy who works in the law office. He's really good at drumming on the tabletop.
We don't have him.
It's the first reprise of West Covina.
The first reprise,
which is when I knew that I thought it was a really special show. It's because it's the first time that someone who isn't Rebecca sings. When Paula first, Donna Lynn's beautiful voice, when she first opens her mouth and sings along with her, it all of a sudden became a different show. There was someone else in that fantasy with her, and I think that Rebecca and Paula's relationship is the most important of the first season. Like, Team Josh, Team Greg, don't care. It's for all of its complications and its problems, and there are lots. That's the relationship that really matters.
And so having that be the first one that happens is important. And there's this, throughout the season we see, like, Paula is the one who will play the game with Rebecca, right? Like, she's going to play the game about Josh, and they play this game through the season. So it's also, like, in that moment when Donna Lynn, our buddy Donna Lynn, first opens her mouth, it's like Paula is like, I'm going to play your game. And you have said, I think, like, that Rachel Bloom has talked a little about this idea that, like, the sort of fantasy, the singing is contagious. So, of course Paula's going to be the first one to catch it.
Yeah.
And that this moment Rebecca's going through, she's like, I'm going to do this thing. I'm at this party. It's our very first episode. That the first person to play her game is Paula is on purpose. I hope, I think,
I'm sure.
and it's very significant.
And you can hear this moment in the orchestration that's just like a tiny ding of her seeing that there's someone with her now. And then the music swells and it's so warm and funny. The lyrics to the reprise are legitimately really funny.
But it's also beautiful when they first start singing their harmony. Musically, it's just beautiful.
Just great.
They sing it wonderfully, and we've sort of we get this moment at the end of that first episode that's other people are going to play this game too.
Yeah.
Which is just a really exciting way to go into the next episode.
So we may or may not be doing a separate video where we talk about the songs we didn't like quite so much, but who knows?
Or all of our middle ground songs, which are all very good, but just can't quite make the top.
We also like all of them.
We like
but click subscribe, and there will be other videos from me and Allison.
And in case you haven't noticed, season 2 has been renewed. Yay! The show's been renewed, so there will be a second season.
Yeah.
We're hoping for more Heather.
Team Heather. So yeah, click subscribe. Find us on Twitter. We're both on Twitter. I'll include Allison's handle in the stuff below. Read the review, comment, tell us what you think. Tell us why we're stupid.
Video, tell us
Make
what
your
songs you
case
love
for the songs that we didn't say. And mostly just please tell your friends to watch Crazy Ex-Girlfriend. We all deserve more Crazy Ex-Girlfriend. And that's all. Thanks. We have friends. We definitely have friends.
Sometimes with the same name.
Bye. Did we make it?
Yeah.
We made it! Woo! I told you we had a lot to say.
We did. Well, listen, we love the show and we're smart.